Hello everybody, I'm Chris Provost. You're watching Provost Park Pass, and today's video is all about you guys. That's right, you guys made these really funny comments. This is a pre-Valentine's Day video. I'm trying to wear like a little tie, it's kind of Valentine-y. And we asked some funny questions. What we thought were just normal questions. You guys gave the funniest responses about like what you would do if somebody said something about Disney. Let's get into this. I'll explain how this is gonna happen. Now, before we get started, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, you know the drill. Okay, let's just jump to this video. What we asked two questions on our community tab on YouTube. And we said the first question is, if you're on a date with somebody and they turned to you and said, hey, this is my favorite ride, you're gonna get down and you're gonna propose immediately because you love that person so much because you're just like, oh my gosh, it's my favorite ride too. What ride would they have to say for you to make you want to propose? Then the second question we asked was, you're on a date with somebody and they tell you that this is their favorite ride at Disneyland and that you're immediately like, I'm out, I can't handle this. So let's get into it. First, let's do the questions. Let's do this. Let's pretend that you're on a date and these are your guys' responses. These are the top 5 attractions, according to you, saying that if somebody said that you're on a date and they said, this is my favorite attraction, you're going to propose to them immediately because you're so like in sync with them. And normally when you do a list like this, a top 5 list, you start with number 5, then you go to 4, 3, and then you get all excited and then you do number 1. I have to do this one in reverse. I'm going to start with number 1 and then go down to number 5 because the number 5 option, the most common option he gave, was so shocking to me. I can't believe you guys even think it's a romantic attraction, romantic ride, or anything like that. I'm afraid if I put that at the very beginning of this video, people would just turn it off and they just rage quit immediately. So I got to do this one in reverse. All right, so let's get started. Here we go. Let me read exactly. He says, you're on a date and your date says their favorite Disneyland ride is, and you immediately propose. Number 1, this was by a landslide. The number 1 response people said, if you're on a date and somebody said this is their favorite attraction, you're going to propose to them and say, I love you and you're the best. And that was Pirates of the Caribbean. No, not even close. You can take almost every other answer, combined together, and still not going to equal Pirates. Everybody loves Pirates, and it says that if you're on a date and somebody says, my favorite attraction is Pirates Caribbean, you're basically going to propose to them right then and there. What do you say to somebody? What do you do? You're like, what do you say to somebody about that? You're like, hey, I guess we see eye to eye. That's not my best work, but it's a pirate joke, I guess. I don't really know. No. But you guys have said that Pirates is like the best ride. If somebody told you that their favorite attraction is Pirates, you're going to propose to them. That was number 1. Now, let's move on to number 2. The number 2 attraction that you guys said, if somebody said that this is their favorite attraction, you're going to propose to them immediately. This one is a little bit of a shocker, to be honest with you, was Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And people said they love this attraction, they think it's awesome. And if somebody turns to you and says, I love Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, you're going to be like, you got big thunder in my life. Yeah, I love you. Let's get married. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Apparently, that signals romance to you guys. So I don't know. It's a little bit shocking on that one, but I love it. I guess what you could say if somebody said my favorite attraction is Big Thunder, you could probably say oh, you're the goat for me. Okay, whatever. Number 3. The number 3 attraction that you guys said, if they said, hey, this is my favorite attraction, the number 3, then you're going to propose to them. The number 3 answer was Haunted Mansion. There's a lot of spooks out there. People like Halloween all year round, and there's a huge affinity for Haunted Mansion, which is a little surprising to me. To be honest with you, I thought Haunted Mansion would be number 1. I'm surprised Pirates was number 1. I thought Haunted Mansion might be number 1 because people seem to love it and they're diehard for it. And I'm really surprised that Big Thunder Mountain Railroad beat Haunted Mansion. But apparently, the number 3 best attraction to have somebody fall in love with you is in the same attraction is Haunted Mansion. All right. Now, let's go to the number 4 attraction that they said, if this is your favorite, you're going to drop down on a knee and propose to your significant other immediately. Number four, that is Space Mountain. This is just kind of shocking. There's a lot of other attractions I would have thought it would have made this list, but number 4 was Space Mountain. And people says, yeah, they love it. They absolutely, they vibe on this ride. And if you're on a date with somebody, and they're like, hey, I love Space Mountain. You're like, oh my gosh, you're my star, moon, and everything. I love you to the moon and back. Or I don't know, it's gotta be like some kind of hey, let's get married out in space, and we have a big party. And they're like, how do we have a party? And you're like, we plan it.
Right, not the time for jokes.
Okay. All right, moving on to number 5. Now, this is very interesting. So normally, like I said, with a list, you have to start with number 5. But we had to do this in reverse because this is just shocking to me. There was a tie. I kid you not, a 3-way tie on number 5. And these people said, how could you get a tie, a 3-way tie? 2 of them I could sort of understand. The third one of this tie blows my mind. So let's get to this. The number 5 attraction that you said, if you're on a date and somebody says, this is my favorite attraction, you're going to immediately propose to them. Here we go. The number 5 answers are, it's a tie. Rise of the Resistance. Now, I can see that. All the Star Wars fans are going to love that. They're going to appreciate that. And you're on a date with somebody, you're sitting together, you're talking Star Wars, and you're like, hey, I like Jawas. And they're like, oh, me too. And guess what? My favorite attraction is Rise of the Resistance. And you're, oh my gosh, let's get married. Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah, sure, whatever. That makes sense. But there was a tie, 3-way tie. So Rise, number 2 tie, Indiana Jones. I can also understand that. A lot of people love Raiders Lost Ark and Indiana Jones, and you're like, hey, dun 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 dun. You're like, oh, you're like, what? You like India? I like India. Oh my gosh, let's get married. Be great, awesome. This next one does not make any sense to me at all. And were people trolling? Were they thinking they're being funny? Or were they being serious? I don't know, but I got a lot of votes, and it was tied for the 5th most popular attraction. Like, you're on a date, and somebody says this to you, you're proposing. Are you ready for this? This is insane to me. Number 5, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I kid you not. People voted a lot for that. They think it was awesome. I mean, why? Why would you do that? Was it because you're so close, like in the car, and you're like, oh my gosh, you want to be in that little car with me, and I can put my arm around you, and they're like, yeah, let's go on the ride and get in a car and get hit by a train and go to the Inferno room. Yeah, the HE double hockey sticks, and it's super romantic, and I love you. Why? What? By the way, what happened to the frog's car when he illegally parked it? It got towed.
I don't think this is the time for that type of humor.
No, nothing? Okay, I don't know. I really can't tell. I want your guys' opinions. Tell me down in the comments down below. Was this a joke? Were you guys just trolling us and just people kept putting Mr. Toad's Wild Ride because they thought it was funny? Or is that literally a legitimate answer that people are like, no, this is awesome. If somebody told me that Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is their favorite attraction, I'm going to propose to him because I love it so much. I mean, I don't get it. I love Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. But we could have asked this. I could have gone for 20 years trying to guess what people's attractions are. I don't think I ever would have had this in top 5 Mr. Toads. In 20 years, this never would have even crossed my mind. Peter Pan, that would have crossed my mind for sure. Casey Jr.'s train, that could have crossed my mind. Mr. Toads, I don't see it. I mean, Jungle Cruise would have crossed my mind before this. The Main Street Vehicles would have crossed my mind before this. Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters would cross my mind before this, but not Mr. Toads. That just wouldn't have been there. All right, now, stop the video. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to reverse it. Now, I want you to pretend that you're on a date and you're vibing with somebody. You're feeling the emotions going. You're like, hey, you're trying to flirt. You're having fun. And all of a sudden they drop this bomb. They're like, my favorite attraction, ride at Disneyland is, and the second they say this, you're like, I'm out. Anyway, you cannot handle this. And so we got the top 5 answers, and let's go through it. Now, in this one, we're going to start the normal way. We'll start at the number 5 and go up to number 1. Okay. Here's very strong opinions on this. By the way, so number 5, there was a tie. Well, it wasn't quite a tie, but they're so close. We couldn't different. They kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So number 5, between the number 5, you're on a date with somebody, and they say this. They're like, Goofy's Sky School. They said Goofy's Sky School. A lot of you were like, nope, I'm out. Can't do Goofy Sky School. I can see that one. This one I can absolutely see. The other one that was really close, they kept going back and forth. Goofy Sky School. This one is Mickey's Fun Wheel, Pixar's Pal Around, or a lot of you guys in the comments called Mickey's Wheel of Death. You're saying, if they said to me, you're like, hey, my favorite attraction is Mickey's Wheel of Death. You're like, I'm out of here. Bye, and you get up, you're not going to even pay for the check on the date. You're like, you walk out, you're done with it. There's no way that the two of you could ever reconcile that. You're like, it's done. I actually can understand that because I find there are two types of people, those who really love it and those who really hate it. I fortunately feel like I'm one of those who really love it, but there are a lot of people that have strong feelings about it. So that was the number 5. Number 4 answer. The number 4 answer that people gave says if you're on a date and somebody says they like this attraction, you're like, there's nothing here. And number 4 was teacups. Teacups. People says, you know what? I can't vibe with somebody who likes the teacups. You guys have strong opinions on teacups. You don't like the music. Doot, 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 doot. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to be around it. You don't want to have a partner who likes teacups. And you guys spoke and you guys, you could say to that person, you're like, you're not my cup of tea. And you just kind of like move on. The number 3 attraction that somebody could say, and it's going to ruin it, your whole date's over, is number 3 was, and this kind of, I find this to be a little bit offensive because I just did a video about this. If you haven't seen it, go watch the video around here. Autopia. You guys have strong feelings on Autopia. There's not a lot of love for Autopia. I love Autopia. I just did a whole video on why Autopia is great. But you guys said that if you're on a date and somebody's like, I love Autopia, you're like, that's it. I'm driving away from you. Can't handle this anymore. No more. Autopia is out. I guess. I could see sort of, but I don't know. The number 2 attraction that you guys said, if somebody says you got to just end it immediately right there, is It's a Small World. What is up with you guys? I thought either A Small World would be on the list. Like, oh, that's so romantic. I love it. But you guys are like, no. If you're on a little romantic date, maybe going to the beach, stop at In-N-Out, grab a hamburger, and all of a sudden your date turns over and like, you know what would really complete this? If we could write It's a Small World. You guys are literally throwing your hamburgers on the ground. And you're like, I'm out. I can't deal with this. And then your date's over there singing, It's a Small World. And you're like, I'm out of here. You're running away. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And you guys are, I thought that would have been more on the romantic end, but no. Now, I do have to do an honorable mention from you guys. This one didn't quite crack the top 5, but there was a lot of votes for it. So I feel like we should do an honorable mention before we get to the number 1 attraction. You guys are like, nah, this is over. There was the honorable mention was Astro Blasters. You know, the one, somebody said they like Astro Blasters. You're like, no. That's it. We're done. It's over. So maybe it's Astro Orbiter. Is that what it's called? I get it. I get them all. Do you know it's in every Disney park? It's like the Orbitron, Astro Blast. No, Astro Blasters is Buzz Lightyear, maybe whatever. But in every Disney park, it has a different name. So it's the one attraction that whatever Disney park you go to, like one's called the Orbitron. It's the Astro Orbiter. It's the I can't remember all the different names, but that's the one attraction. It's kind of weird. So who knows? So the Orbitron, the Astro Orbiter. Honorable mention. All right, the number 1 attraction that you guys are like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how attracted you are to that person. Doesn't matter how cute you think they are, how great they are, how funny they are. Doesn't matter. If they drop this little bit of knowledge on you, you are out. There's no saving the relationship. It is over. The number 1 attraction that you say if somebody tells you on a date that they're like, this is my favorite attraction, and you're like, that is Finding Nemo, the submarine ride. You guys, and that wasn't even close. I mean, people are like, this is it. I can't deal with you. You like the sub ride? No, I can't. It's over. There is no way that I just don't think in the history of the world that anybody's ever said that that's their favorite attraction. People might like it for nostalgia reasons, or like, hey, it's just fun to look at. I don't think people really like to ride it, but I can't. Could you just imagine, you're like on your date and you look across at that person, you give a little wink, you're like, hey, you're trying to be cute. You say something witty, they laugh, and they're eating maybe corn on the cob, and they got a little corn stuck in their teeth, but you think it's cute because at that point, at that stage, everything's cute. And they're like, I like Finding Nemo. And you're, oh my gosh, we're out of here. Submarine ride? Are you serious? You throw the corn cob down, you walk off in a huff the whole way you drive home. You're like, fine. You just keep saying to yourself over, submarine, right? And you're like, no. And you block them on your phone because it's irreparable. You can't go back from that. It is over. You guys are amazing. And by the way, if you want to go to Disneyland, say a fun little Valentine's thing, it's really simple to do. Call 1-855-GETAWAY, 1-855-GETAWAY. And when they answer, you're going to get the lowest prices, even cheaper than if you go to Disneyland. But be sure to tell them Provost Park Pass sent you. You'll get an even deeper discount, save you a couple bucks here and there. Try to help you stretch your dollars, or click the link down below. You guys are awesome. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and we have even funnier videos about Valentine's. You guys are, if you want to be part of this community, hit the subscribe button and then go to our community tab where we put little poll questions there. That's how we get these answers. It's from the people who subscribe to us and go on our community tab. And you guys are hilarious. All right, guys, have a good one. Avoid submarines. That's all we can say about that. Talk to you guys like Mr. Toads. That's shocking. Bye-bye.
I love Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. What you do, so do I. Let's get married, da 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 da, and have some tadpoles. Beep boop 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 doo 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 doo. Really, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? By the way, you're watching a list of all of our Patreons. Thank you, Patreons. We love you.
Did you say let's get married and have some tadpoles? Oh my gosh.